The Role of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Emily Gilmer, and we're excited to bring you another episode of the Mastery of Connections with our very own MC Holmes, Alan Holmes, our Master Connector, as we affectionately call him. And so we're here every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, to talk about like networking, meeting people, making connections, all that other all that good stuff. Um, and as Alan likes to say, it's not about me, it's about we. So, with nothing further to do, I am going to bring in Alan here to kick us off. So, welcome, Alan.
Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you may be. This is Alan Holmes with the Master Connector, or with this MC Holmes. Welcome to the Master of Connections. Ladies and gentlemen, it is so honor and privilege to be here. Today we have a guest hailing somewhere floating between Chicago, but now reside in Philadelphia. Born and raised. No, I won't go there, otherwise I'll pay royalties. And anyway, Sandy Butcher is here. Now, this gentleman I've known for about 4 years. Off and on, we've had some legends. He knows I'm straight out of Compton, but we have some amazing. But it's not about me. It's about we. It's the Master of Connections featuring Sandy Butcher. A little bit about him. Well, he's with PWD Guard, password manager. We all know that so many of us are out there just floating around and we need to be protected. So without further ado, let's bring in the legendary Master of Connections guest for today's February 19th, Mr. Sandy Butcher. Good morning. I see we have the same hairstyle and everything. Tell us a little bit about who you are, how you got started in this world of protecting passive and all this. We're so confused sometimes when we're working. So let me start talking. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me and inviting me. Basically, I have a company that basically does software development and um, and websites and all types of things. So we have a need because we have hundreds of different websites. We have a need to organize our passwords. And over the years, I've tried a whole bunch of different people's things, and either their security isn't good, they're trying to do it on an Excel spreadsheet, uh, or they just have it in their computer, and basically protecting it. They're using the Google password thing, which any hacker can break very easily. And so basically, you need to protect yourself. Most hacks are not done the way people think. People think that the hacker sneaks into your computer and sits there like while we're talking here and is hacking away. And that's not the way they do it on there. They're into your computer for maybe 5 blinks of your eye on there, or they have a little robot that sneaks into your computer. It knows, like if you're using the Google stuff, it knows where Google keeps all that information on your computer. And so basically, this little robot goes and copies it, and off it goes away. So it takes a copy. You know how long it takes to save or copy a file that you do. Well, that's how quickly on the. Then they go to their computer or their lab, and they break into the information at that point. So they can be breaking into your information for days before they get it, and they get your your bank accounts, all types of important papers and everything. most people don't realize that what you really should be doing with a password a manager is each data, each password should be encrypted within itself. And we use military grade encryption, which is really tough. But I will tell you right up front, there is no digital password that can't be broken at some point in time. Apple's pretty good at protecting you, but even they could be broken. That the governments of China or Russia or whatever can break those passwords. So basically, the best thing to do is have it so each password has its own wrapper, so that basically if one gets broken, then the hacker's got to break the next one and the next one. So it's a tedious job on there. I hope that answers some of you on there. Why you should be protecting yourself.
Absolutely. And now that you've just woken everybody who those morning, evening, afternoons eyes up, because this is recording, we're going to go over a little bit about where you'll be seeing it. Let me ask you, Sandy, how did you get into become part of this world? This is your company, just for those who are on the listening to the recording. This is your company. You're not a marketer or an affiliate for a certain company. This is the VW Guard is your baby, your brainchild, correct?
That is correct. Yes, I've been an entrepreneur for most of my life. So for 30, 40 years, I've always developed different products, and we've had some successfuls products on there, and we have had some duds too. But basically, and it's ranged from many different things, from barter to password manager. And the neat thing about our password manager, it's portable. Alan, it basically, you can use it on your Apple, or you can use it on your Android, or you can use it on your Windows computers. And basically, any place where there's an internet, you can have access to your data. So if you are off in the Riviera on there, and basically sipping a nice drink, and the waitress says, you need to pay for that, and basically you go, oops. You have, as long as you have your phone and you have access to the internet, you can find out what that password was for that credit card that you forgot on there.
Wow, that's very interesting. Yeah, that was going to be the next question. I'm sure that by now a lot of individuals who are listening, and organizations, businesses, and nonprofits, I'm hoping they're leaning forward. What is without giving all the proprietary secret sauce? What is the process? And or let's say it this way: there are those who want to be, well, you know what? That sounds great. I'm okay. I can do it myself. What are the advantages of using PW Guard and working with you, Sandy, and your company versus trying to do this on your own?
Well, we didn't mention when we were talking a little bit about PW Guard is it's a sponsor-driven model. What's that mean? It means that it's free for everybody. So basically, it doesn't cost anything for you to use our product on there. It's super secure, and you, Alan, if when you use it with your accounts, you have your own individual database with that information in it. It's not mixed in with my database or the next person's on there. So you don't have to worry about if somebody broke into my thing that they're going to get to your things. So everything's separate. And as I said, it's up in servers in the United States on there, and basically the security is it's super secure, military grade security, which is ABS 256. But I won't get crazy with the technical side. But basically, it allows you, okay, to have the ability to any, like I said, any place in the world to have access to this, and to have all that uniqueness and capability, and it's free. Why would you want to? Why would you sit there and worry about trying to put it on your notes, your yellow page, or an Excel file or something else? Got all this power. We believe also, we believe in keep it simple, the KISS theory. Keep it simple on there. And as such, we don't do a lot of automatically trying to save as you're filling in a form or something like that, that it saves your password. That works great at the beginning, as we all know. If we tried it with Google, with Google's Chrome or whatever. But the problem is down the road, a couple of months, 6 months or whatever, your bank comes along and says, "Oh, you've had your password for too long. You need to change your password for security reasons. So we're going to force you to change your password." And that's easy done. But the problem is taking that and getting your password manager to recognize that can be a major task. You can spend more time trying to get your password, is your automatic password, to put the update on there. We don't do that. We don't, because time is money, and basically, it's very simple. When in our system, when you go in and ask for a password, you enter in your access name and access, and then you have, it looks like a grid with 4 columns, and basically you can break out unlimited, but you can break out your passwords into categories. So you might
wow.
yeah. So you might have ones for work. You might have ones for home. You might have ones for the kids, and so on. So basically, you go into that category, and then you click, and then you have a title going across. So it may say Wells Fargo Bank. So I click on that, and there pops up the password on there. And at that point, I can turn around, and because the password is dotted out, so you can't see the password when it's displaying unless you hit the I. And then basically you can hit paste on there. So basically you take that and put it on your password, or the username, and one on the password. And then basically you're into it, and it's that simple. It works great on a phone on there, because you can be like on Android that I have. I can go back and forth between my bank app and it takes 2 seconds to do it, and it makes it a lot easier. It also keeps track of the double authentication if you use names or something like that for double authentication. So we keep it simple. Stupid is basically one of the other really neat features that we have, Alan, that nobody really thinks about until it's too late. And that is that I know, like my wife, I have a whole bunch of different things, legal things, and all this other stuff. What happens if, the lightning strikes the head and I'm gone? How does she know where the information is? She doesn't know unless I told her. Probably most of the time said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to tell my wife, where the secret is, so that if I'm not here, she can at least, get the life insurance and all the rest, the rest of the documents that are important." Well, we have a thing, a feature on PW Guard that you can set a time that if your account is not active, it will automatically send an email to somebody that you trust, wife, girlfriend, partner, whatever. And then basically, and we will send that email and say, hey, there's been no activity here, on there. Is everybody okay? That person can either say yes or no. If they say no, the person passed away, on there, we can say, well, we'll be glad to give you if you answer a secret question that I put in there, on there, like where was Alan brought up, and if they know it was Compton, then basically we will send you a way to get into that person's password, on there, so that you, if you're the executor or whatever you may be, you're able to continue your life, on there. So it's a neat feature. Most people, until they need it, on there, don't even think about it, on there. We don't think about that part of our, think about everything else. And I've I have a mom and a dad, and both of them are passed away, and there was a lot of legal things and everything, that basically we needed to know. And so it took us a while to figure it out because they didn't leave anything. Well, they left something with the lawyer, but how do I know who the lawyer is?
Wow, this is some very fascinating. Now I'm gonna play kind of the advocate a little bit. When somebody says, "No, well, wait a minute, Sandy's great, and this is only everything," but what are the safeguards you have in place that you yourself, the owner and provider, we're talking about password. If there's anything, you can go in there. That's the number one. How do you protect against Sandy? Is against Sandy. And number two is when it comes to someone. Question number two would be when somebody says, "Okay, I am one of these scatterbrains, and I'm just don't remember. Is there a master password that I can protect against myself?" So how would you respond to that?
Sure. Well, the first thing to understand is that basically our PW Guard is unique in itself, and so we can't import passwords that you might have from your other password system and everything. The way that we keep track of it, one of the very uniquenesses that I didn't mention, which is patent pending, is that when we save your password, we turn around and cut that password into 3 parts. So we save one part. We like a piece of pie. We pay one piece of the pie is part of your password. Another piece is in another thing, and another piece is in another one. So again, it's very hard for anybody. They have to understand how that's put together. The access of the password server is what we call a single direction. So basically, that where the database is, you communicate with another database, and that database is the only one that can have access to where the password is. So it's really pretty super secure.
Wow.
Okay. Um,
Wow.
so these are encrypted things. So unless I know the encryption, unless I know the encryption to get to your database, okay, I can't, from owning the thing, I can't even get to do it. And we have no way to unencrypt it. Just like Apple, yeah, we don't unencrypt. I don't even know if a court, a judge from it's told us the unencrypted. I'm not sure we can do it on there. I mean, it's that on that. So most of the time, what we'll tell people is you have to create a new password, a password, and everything.
Okay. Well, now, which leads me to the maybe one more question before we start getting to, because this is very fascinating. Thank you again for being here, Massive Connections. When somebody loses, or maybe again they're scattered and they lose their password, if they say forget password, is there a master password? If this
No,
makes any sense for
nope,
all the other password?
nope. You have a master password to get into the app. Yes.
Okay. And does it
So
work? Does it?
basically, when you log into your
Go ahead. Go ahead.
there is a master password to get into your grid of passwords on there. So you can turn around, and if you lose that, you can turn around and create and get a new password if you answer the questions on there.
Okay. And who sets up the
But
questions?
the software does.
Okay. Wow, this is very, very fascinating. Um, uh, you know, we normally right about this time starts asking, how do people get started? Because now that you have terrified, not in a good way, you actually great information. Emily Gomer and or Kurt is hanging around somewhere because I know they have a couple questions and we'd love to know. They'll pop in a few minutes, but how does someone get a hold of you? What's the best way to get a hold of you for those who are listening on? Um,
all, all you have to do is go to pwdguard.com and follow the buttons, the sign up. It's that simple. There's ways if you struggled, you can send us a text, and we will answer that, basically your questions if you have them on there but it's pretty intuitive on there. I will tell you, out of over 100,000 records so far that are in the system, I think I've had 3 people ask for some help. So it's people have figured it out pretty easily.
okay, and before Kurt, I know he's chomping at the bits for a couple questions. Let us know. Besides you protecting the world of the password, and we appreciate that. What are some of the things you like doing? Where when Sandy's not protecting the world against the password, uh, bad individuals or people who have a nefarious situation. What do you like to do for fun?
Well, basically, I've been a girls volleyball coach at the college level, D2 level, high school, and club for over 30 years. And I've been uh, the man upstairs has been very kind to me, that I've been, very successful. I seem to have a knack of relating to young adults, from age 14 to 22, and being able to get them to give their all out there, and make it, and they've learned to be better people. Sports is a fantastic way to help young adults to be understand the stresses in this world, and do it in a game situation. And as we know, in most cases, it's a game. So, you win or lose, but then you move on and it doesn't hurt anybody. But it also teaches those young children about anxiety, about confidence on there, and the pressures that go into trying to make yourself successful.
Absolutely, and as we wrap up here, we'll bring in the resident sports and ski expert and so forth, and the disability channel advocate and the world of ability. He's all over the place. He's a brother from another out there, hailing from Wisconsin. Kurt, I know you have some things. You know that the just a little PSA announcement. The 22nd of February is incredible day dedicated to veterans and lowering suicide. And we love for you to be a part of that, Sandy. Kurt, do you have any questions for Mr. Butcherwild? Because for those that are listening, we don't get a resident password protector often. So go ahead, Kurt. The floor is yours, yes, sir.
All right, sounds good. Well, I just want to make sure everybody's got that link, pwdguard.com. Again, pwdguard.com. Take advantage of it. Free protection of your password. So, Sandy, for those of us who are using PWD Guard, to protect our passwords, and we got it down, and what it is that you provide with that, we're all set with that. What else do you have in your wheelhouse in terms of cybersecurity or other steps beyond our passwords to navigate the internet safely?
Well, that is our primary security thing. We're in the midst of developing a for small business a ERP system called Epic, and basically it also has the ability for we have the ability for a standalone invoicing system. So the neat thing about that is that it accepts credit cards. So basically, a lot of the small people that are doing small business, lawns, painting, one or two or three person business, don't normally have the way to accept credit cards. And we have a way that basically, again, it's the same as PW Guard, is it costs you absolutely nothing. The only thing you have to do is agree to use our credit card processing. Our credit card processing is competitive to Stripe or the other ones out there. It's at 2.85 as the default rate. We have no control over how that, if the rate goes higher than that, that's between the processor. And we earn our money by basically taking a piece of that, each time that somebody does a credit card transaction, we get a small percentage of that as our fee on there. And so that allows us to keep our software up. The software is very portable, and the neat thing is that you might have not have an accounting system that has, or the accounting system is expensive, like QuickBooks, to have the invoicing on there. This system works fantastic on there, and on top of that, it can export. You can import it into most any accounting system. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that is fantastic. You do great work. And so just a quick fun question, Sandy, you want to share with our audiences, how did you, Alan, and I meet?
Oh my gosh. Well, see, I knew Alan. We met. I believe we met through the Happy Network project on there, and I don't know if we met all in one at the same time. I remember talking to Alan, and as soon as he mentioned Compton, I don't know. I've always had a liking for Compton and people from Compton on there, even though I've never been there in my life on there. But and Alan is a fun guy, and basically, he's just like myself. I can be very serious. I can make my volleyball players have tears if I need to, but most of the time, I like to have fun, and I enjoy working with people and making them smile on there. I think there's too many serious people in the world, and I think that we take too seriously some of the things that 20 years ago everybody would laugh at, and today everybody's ready to bring out the swords and fight about on there. They just don't have any. They don't have any humor, and hopefully, hopefully people will change and become, more relaxed. But I'm not going to get into politics.
which leads, and I have to butt in right here, because see, this is why Sandy and we get along with H&P, because Sandy does an Alan. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who are listening, Kurt asked one question and he forgot to answer how he met, which I'm honored. Now, how did you meet Mr. Kurt? Because that Kurt, he dragged me here to this.
Oh, well, I met Mr. Kurt. I have seen Mr. Kurt in way too many, online networking events, and I've learned all about Mr. Kurt skiing. He likes the water ski. He likes cheese on there. You'll learn at some point that basically he's got a better half, okay, that you really want to learn about, which is his wife, and she's a very nice person on there. So, and then his cohort, or his right-wing person, Emily, on there, they're just nice people. And so, I don't know, I probably met him 3 or 4 years ago at least. And, he's always on HNP on there. So I'm always bumping into him.
Absolutely.
I'm still talking to him.
Absolutely. Well, as we wind up, when we close on for the end of the day, Kurt, do you want to share before we bring in the boss, the legendary Emily Gomer, to where else can those in the Mastery of Connections see Sandy Butcher and PW Guard? Can you share that a little bit, Kurt? Because I know there's, I don't know, Jay Storian with the Disability Channel. I don't want to go ahead and steal your thunder. Go ahead and share with a little bit where we can, for those listening and needs to get their password protected manager like yesterday.
Yeah, well, we have a new development with Bravehearts TV. We want to make sure to give recognition there. And we talked about the event this weekend with Zach Clayton of Community Paid Forward and Pack Channel. And we've got Lawrence Wingate that used to do HMP North Carolina with. And so he's got Wingate TV. And and we're doing stuff with Treasure Island with Jeff Jeffries and the Our Kids television series coming out this summer. So it's TV here, there, and everywhere, nonprofit TV. And we got SL TV and it just keeps going on and on. So, Aaron Avila out in California with Stroke TV, we're just building one big, ginormous TV dynasty because we're looking to be the clearinghouse for all the great things that all these great people like Sandy are doing. So let's keep doing it, folks. Let's do it together.
Absolutely. And where in the world is Emily? She's close. You normally closes us out. She's hanging out somewhere, calling all Emily's. Calling all Emily's. We need you to close. Please attend the PWD and Kurt Roscoe Massive Connections boardroom. See, that's what we do. We just up there. She is. See, I was
Ah!
ladies and gentlemen, this is the boss. This is the one whose reason why Massive Connections has been floating around so long between Kurt and Emily. Emily, go ahead and bring us home.
I'd like to thank you, Sandy, for joining us today. Come back anytime. Uh, Love to have everybody, encourage everybody to join us um, on the show. So if you are interested, to please connect with us to come on the show, or tune in and check out all of our social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and so on, or any of our other shows. Or check out any of our other people that we're working with, like Chase Ryan of the Disability Channel, Zach Clayton of the Fact Channel, Marcus Hart of Transform U, Lawrence Wingate Studios, and Earl Williams of Midwest Plants and Podcast. The great work that they do. But until so, if you'd like to connect with me, you can go or text me at 608-886-9801. So until I guess until next time, hope everybody has a safe and productive weekend to stay happy.
Thank you all. Kurt, it took a year and a half to get here, but we got here.